Hello, my name is Adele, and today I'll be teaching you about some basic techniques you can use to create ceramic objects. First, you're going to need clay. Other than that, you can use found objects to manipulate and mold your clay. A sponge is useful for expunging cracks. We'll talk about that later. You're going to want something to slip and score. You'll learn what that is later. But you just need an object. I'm going to be using a top of one of these from a can. You just need something that's going to be able to create some texture into it. And then you also want a cup of water. Forgot to pour mine. Pour my cup of water. Alright, and then for today, that's all you'll need. First thing you want to do is work your clay so that you do not have any air bubbles. So I already worked mine a little bit, but I'll show you the basic way to do it. You just want to use your wrist and press down and forward at an angle and make sure you're not creating air bubbles while doing this. The function of this is to get rid of air bubbles. You don't want air bubbles in your piece, otherwise with temperatures in the kiln, when it's getting those last droplets of water out, it will possibly explode. So you really want to make sure you don't have any water. So I think this is about good. So let's see here. First thing we'll do is we'll learn how to slip and score. One final thing to do that's like pretty good for getting out the air bubbles too is making like almost a tube structure, because if you think about it, in this tube, the thinner you make it, the less likely there's going to be an air bubble. So let's rip this apart. Let's pretend we had a break in our structure, or we're trying to glue something together, and let's put these back together with a good seal so that they do not break apart again. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do, wet my hands a little bit, is add some texture to the piece. So we're going to slip. You can see I'm adding some texture. You want to see some divots. You want to see the clay come off. I'm working with sculpture body clay, so it's already very textured, but with a smooth, porous clay, you're going to have to work the texture a lot. Mine's already kind of done for me. It just kind of depends with what kind of clay you're working with. Alright, so I textured both sides. And then second step, very important, probably, definitely, is water. Water is pretty much the cement glue of clay. If you're very experienced with clay, you can even get away with not smoothing around the edges, which is my final step that I'll show you. That just pretty much ensures that your thing is not going to fall apart. So I'm just even gonna dip it, because that'll be wet enough for both sides. I'll stick it together. You can see it still kind of would fall unless it was supported. So I'm actually going to smooth the edges back and forth to create sort of a seal. You can see sealed, unsealed. I do this because most of the things I like to put together, I don't want there to be a crack or any evidence that the piece was not united in the first place. So I've nearly got this all sealed, again, my tube, and now I'll show you how to get rid of cracks. So I'm just going to roll this guy. And also, if you're not fond of using found objects like a quarter, an end of a pistachio, or this thing from a can, you can buy a set of tools from any sort of art store, Michaels, Blick, for probably under $10, so, but, yeah. Alright, now that I've got like a longer tube here, I'm gonna bend it so you see, because I work with a lot of curves in my work personally, and I always get these cracks, and I see it in other people's work too. And this is simple, very simple, but in case you're a beginner, like I was at one point, if you use water and a finger, you just have to, I guess, rub over it and the cracks will disappear. But yeah, these are just some small basic tools you can use to make about anything. It's about all you really need to know. Yeah, so thanks for watching.